Are entrepreneurs the runaway slaves? Welcome back to the Science of Peace. That is going to be our topic today. And then, it kind of just came to me. It was a download, right? And I'm speaking as an entrepreneur. I have a couple of businesses that I recently started. And I will have to say that this is just my opinion. Chime in if you have any comments, whatever, ideas in relation to what I'm saying. But I feel like entrepreneurs are the runaway slaves, right? Because there's something a little different in the mindset of an entrepreneur. First of all, entrepreneurs, we're a little crazy. We're a little crazy with our ideas. We have alternative ways of thinking that may not align with the mainstream, right? Mainstream meaning the programs that have been laid out for us, go to school, study hard, work hard, get a good job, and pretty much, work for someone else your entire life till you retire 65, and then most likely get another job, work for someone else, then so that you can still survive. That don't sound fun to me. Never did. I will say this. I know that entrepreneurship is not for everyone. I do. I really do. And, I'm in a place where now in my life where it's like, because I've been off the plantation, and really not that long, been off the plantation maybe about 2 years, perhaps. And what I mean by plantation is like, the regular 9 to 5. And this is no disrespect. I don't have anything against anyone who has a regular 9 to 5, works for someone, because, hey, I done did that too. And if you like what you're doing, hey, man, keep doing it. No judgment. I'm just only speaking from my experience. I feel like, we kind of like see entrepreneurs, meaning we see things a little differently, and maybe we didn't want that type life. Maybe we got tired of being on that plantation, doing the same thing over and over again. And it also makes me think of The Matrix. Anybody who's a fan of The Matrix, that's like one of my favorite movies. Shout out to the sister Sophia Stewart, who wrote The Matrix, and it was stolen, and they made a movie about it, but she sued and she won. And that's one of the biggest cases in Hollywood. So shout out to that sister for her book, The Third Eye, which they took and turned it into The Matrix. Not only did they turn it into The Matrix, but they also created Terminator out of that book. So peace to her. But I also feel like if you've seen the recent Matrix, when Neo is at work, he's on his plantation. They put that man back in the plantation and gave that man blue pills. But when everything keeps looping over and over again, you know what I'm saying? Like, golly, same conversations, the same people, just, that loop, which is security for a lot of people. It was security for me for a long time. Like, it was many times when I was on a job and I was working in the school system, when I was on a job where, I dreamed of running away, escaping, but the security and the safety of having that job, kept me, the fear. And that's one thing that entrepreneurs, I feel like, for you to be an entrepreneur, you gotta be fearless. Because, just thinking about leaving the safety of the plantation that you're on, because you got a guaranteed check that's, we realized from COVID, it ain't really guaranteed, is it? A lot of people are starting to wake up to that now, where it's just like, maybe it wasn't as guaranteed as we thought, and we finding out that that was an illusion. You know what I'm saying? That was a part of the matrix. So it's like, and I started my businesses, during COVID. And, joined mentorships in real estate, got into wholesaling. Now I'm doing Airbnbs, and I'm also got into short-term car rentals. So I do Toro and hire car. And then I also have my curriculum, Science of Peace, which I do still, work with the youth that are in juvenile detention centers, teaching my curriculum. Because I used to be a teacher, and at one point, and I left that because I just got tired of, teaching what I felt like did not have any relevance. Like a lot of the stuff that I was teaching, I had to go back and learn so that I could teach it, because that's how often I used it as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So moving on with that, but, and then, also have my band, Eat the Cake Band. And then I also have a clothing line, Vintage Phuck. So those are a couple of my businesses. And I will say that to step out on faith and really be like, I'm not going to, rely on the security of this job anymore, but I'm kind of like stepping out on faith. Like that takes a lot of courage, you know what I'm saying? And especially when the majority of the people that you may have been around or are around, friends, family, etc., are on the plantation, and they looking at you like, you about to go out there by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like the feeling that you get when you do talk to people. If you are talking to people about some of your ideas that you want to start, it's like some of them can look at you like you that rebel slave. Like, like it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna go out there. You gonna go out yonder in the wilderness by yourself. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, and you're not gonna work this plantation no more. And you like, nah, I'm about to be out for real. I'm about to trust God. I'm about to follow these stars. You know what I'm saying? The drinking gore. It's like Harriet Tubman, which brings me to another point. There's a quote that Harriet Tubman said, and always kind of, every time I read it, I'm like, I really want to know more about this. And if anybody has any more information about this quote that she said, I freed 1,000 slaves, and I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. And when I first read that, I was working in the school system, and I'm like, what you mean? If only they knew they were slaves? What that mean? Like, people didn't know they were slaves? And while I was saying that and thinking that, working on the plantation, I didn't even realize that I too was a slave. But not the slave where, you get the whipping and the chains, but it's more of a mentality. You know what I'm saying? It's more of your mindset is in this box. You know what I mean? And you don't want to venture out too far for fear of the unknown. You know what I mean? And the security of having that check every other week, that you can count on that same amount, right? It actually kind of limits your ability and your potential, but that could be safer to some people than venturing out there. You know what I'm saying? And just having the possibility that you can make more, but it's not a guarantee. And that can scare a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? That's like, Harriet Tubman and them, they like preparing to leave the plantation. And some people like, nah, y'all go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be right here. And that's what it kind of feels like sometimes as an entrepreneur. So I just want to give a shout out to all the entrepreneurs that are out there that are doing their thing. And because I know it's rough and I know it's tough. And, it's not always, because I know that it can get rough. It can get lonely. The life of an entrepreneur can be lonely, which is why I definitely highly recommend that you surround yourself and you get yourself into some mentorships, into some networking, into some support get yourself around other like-minded individuals, because that will definitely help you. You can share resources. Like, it's like you really do have to now, if you're gonna be a runaway slave, you gotta get with the other runaway slaves, because you need to see how they living. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are we now surviving? Because you really are going to have to unlearn the majority of what you have been programmed to learn. You know what I mean? And now, you know what also I realize about us as entrepreneurs is that, pardon me, us as entrepreneurs is that what we are really chasing and what we are really seeking is freedom. You know what I mean? It truly is freedom, because it ain't even the reason why we trying to get this dollar, and we not trying to have a master to work for that's going to, tell us when we got to check in and check out, and when you can have vacation time and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why we trying to escape and run away and do our own thing and become our own master is really for the freedom. Like, what you want the money for is for freedom, because you want the money so that you can do whatever you want to do. You want the money so that you ain't got, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got to check your books all the time to see if you can spend this and spend that. You ain't got to check with master all the time to see if you can go on vacation, if you have enough money to go on vacation. And really, we want to live a life that we create. And that's the part about entrepreneurs, is that we are natural creators. We all are creators, you know what I'm saying? But entrepreneurs have the courage to go out there and create, and to and hopefully inspire everyone else. You know what I'm saying? That you could do the same. You know what I mean? And what we really chasing is freedom. Everybody wants freedom, and that's what I know about entrepreneurs. So I just want to give a shout out and hopefully give some encouragement to other entrepreneurs. Make sure y'all stick together and group up. You know what I mean? Share ideas, share resources, because there's a lot of information out here. There's a lot of support out here, and if you don't get into some type of support, you're most likely to fail. And, most businesses fail within the first 4 years. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it ain't easy to be an entrepreneur. It can look all cute on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? But you seeing people's highlight reels of what's happening, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that you don't see. And I would like to share more of those things, you know what I'm saying? Because it can get lonely, especially think about this too. If you don't have the right people around you, you're going to get lost. If you don't have the right partner, you're going to get lost. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you're literally creating a different world. You're literally living in a different world. And people who are not of that world have a hard time comprehending. You know what I'm saying? It's like, once you're a runaway slave, it's like you want to do anything and everything so that you don't have to go back onto the plantation. That's the last thing you want to do. It's like, I don't want to go back there. Like, I will do, shoot, there's so many gig related apps that you can do now when stuff ain't working right and you ain't getting the money in there. I'm gonna tell you, you can do Uber these days. You can do Lyft. They got a new app called Empower. There's a competition for Uber and Lyft. And I know a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that's doing these gigs and making more than they was making on the plantation gig. You know what I'm saying? Like, people doing DoorDash, like doing anything to keep from going back there. And a lot of people are waking up to that. So like I said, keep the faith, keep the power. To all the runaways, we out here. But also I wanted to break down the etymology of entrepreneur briefly. So entrepreneur comes from the French word entreprendre. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but you can look it up. It comes from the French word meaning undertaker or adventurer, or one who manages, or promoter of a theatrical production. which brings me to entrepreneurs can be a little crazy, yes. But you gotta be crazy. You gotta be a little crazy to be able to create something out of nothing. To take an idea, from the ether, a download from the heavens, the gods, the sources, the angels, whatever you want to call it. Because you're really just picking up these downloads that they're sending. And then you're taking that from the spiritual realm, and then you are manifesting it into the physical. That's alchemy. You are the alchemist. So to do something like that and to know that you're doing it, right? You're doing it consciously. We do it all day, every day. But most of us are asleep. Most of us are unconscious. That's part of being here on planet Earth. Hey, that's what it is. But as entrepreneurs, I just want you to know that you're special. You know what I'm saying? That you're magic, that you're the alchemist. And I'm definitely I've been reading a couple of books, and I want to share some of the information that I've been blessed to come across, because I know it's helping me as an entrepreneur. And I know that it will help you as well. So, just for motivation, just for inspiration, hopefully, you take heed, to some of the things I'm saying. And look, share information with me too, you know what I'm saying? And let's just keep this thing going.